Hey, what's going on everybody? Today is Thursday, August 13th, and I'm going to be talking yet again about unemployment and how I screwed up yesterday, and we'll go over that, all right? So, as you know, the president issued an executive order over the weekend that will add an additional $400 per week to your unemployment benefits. In the executive order, it states that the federal government will cover $300 of that, and the state will cover the other $100. When the executive order was first released, it was implied that the states would have to contribute an additional $100 to all of their claimants in order to qualify for this program. But the Department of Labor issued guidance fairly recently, I think 1 or 2 days ago, stating that that's not the case. The states don't have to issue an additional $100 in order to qualify for this program. They can just already use the money that they're paying to their claimants as the $100. So that means that if they elect to use that method, then the claimants will actually only get an additional $300 of benefits rather than $400. This is one instance on how things are changing so quickly nowadays, during the pandemic. Even an executive order needs supplemental information, like we saw this with the PPP, where the PPP, there was some broad guidance, broad rules that you know about, but when it comes down to the nuances and the specifics, they release like over a dozen guidances in order to cover those things. So this just means that you have an extra $300 per week guaranteed for at least a few weeks, okay? Now, states can still choose to contribute an extra $100 per week to their claimants to make it a full $400 per week benefit extension. Now, how likely will states be doing that? I don't think it's going to be very likely. States are running already at a huge deficit, most of them are, or their revenues are severely limited because of the pandemic. It's very unlikely that states will want to contribute an additional $100 to their unemployment claims. States like Ohio have already elected to do the additional $300 per week extra benefits, and they're choosing to not supplement it with an extra $100. So what does this mean, and who is eligible? People who are eligible are people who are making at least $100 on unemployment. That means if you are making less than $100 per week on unemployment, then you will not be eligible for this benefit. That is unless your state chooses to pay you an additional $100 for your unemployment benefits. That's a bummer to hear. I know it's going to affect at least 1 million unemployed people who will not be able to get these claims, these additional money. But overall, it's better than nothing. It's going to provide a little bit of extra time for Congress to get their shit together and to agree on something, but it's completely only temporary. There's only $44 billion allocated to this program, whereas in the CARES Act, when that was passed, it was $250,000 allocated to their unemployment program. Just to give you an idea of the scale here. Now, because this is an executive order, Congress is allowed to challenge this and basically veto it. But it seems like Democrats or Republicans will not be challenging this executive order. So from this point right now, it looks like it's going to move forward. So how long is this going to take in order to fully be implemented? Well, Mitch McConnell says that he's guessing it's going to take 1 to 2 weeks for the states to be able to implement this. And I think that's a fairly aggressive timeline. And I don't think that's going to be possible based on how, PUA and FPUC rolled out in March. I don't think this is going to happen in 1 to 2 weeks. I think it's going to be at least a month for most states to get their shit together and update their systems and update their programs and softwares in order to support this. I think it's going to take several weeks at least. In the meantime, you could be expecting your normal state unemployments for now. And then in about a month's time, that's when you'll be getting the additional $300 to $400 per week, depending on what your state elects. So what do you do in the meantime? It's really not time to just sit around and wait for it. Definitely, if you can, get creative. Look for different jobs, look for different lines of work. If you started a business or you have a business, this is a time to get creative and try to pivot your business, all right? Because you will still qualify for unemployment even if you make some money. It's not like an all or nothing thing. If you make a little money, you would still qualify for unemployment. So don't worry about that running out. Also, remember that money is just a little part of your life. You also have your mental health, your physical health, your family time, your relationships, your social life. maybe if you're not working as much, maybe this is a time to strengthen those areas of your life, because those are just as important, if not more important, than just money. Now, understand it's hard, it's really difficult to do that when you are stressed, when you're worried about whether or not you can eat the next day, the next week, the next month, if you have children to feed, if you and your spouse both lost your jobs. I know it's stressful, and I know it's really hard to focus on other things. However, it's also, just keep in mind, it's really important to keep your mental health and your physical health and your other relationships in check. So please don't let this time go to waste. Please try to see it as a blessing in disguise. And at the same time, do what you can to keep yourselves alive and safe, all right? And I want to give a shout out to Abe Lincoln. He commented on my last video. He told me that the things I was saying in here was incorrect, that I don't understand, and he was absolutely correct. So my bad for giving you improper information. I was just legitimately worried that most people won't be getting the extra $400 per week unemployment. But now it seems like that they will at least get $300 per week for at least a few weeks. So thanks, man. Appreciate you looking out for me. And also thanks for all of my other supporters and people who watch my videos. I appreciate it. And that's all I got for now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below what you think about this unemployment. What do you think about Trump's executive orders? Let me know what kind of help or questions you might have, and I will do my best to answer them. All right, so that's all I got. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day and stay safe.